Hey guys, today we're going to start to look at power testing, in particular looking at the hop on the mat. And I'm going to show you where I think the future of physiotherapy and healthcare is heading. So make sure you stay tuned after the hop test. So when performing hop testing or any other type of testing, it's important to let the nervous system start to adapt to the task that we're doing. So with the hop test, it's important that we give our patient or client 3 practice attempts before we start to give them 3 successful attempts where they stick the landing and take the average to get the actual measurements, so we can be sure that the data that we're collecting is actually reliable. So I've already done my 3 practice hops. I'm now going to do 3 test hops on my left leg. Don't laugh too much. So now I've completed those hops on the left leg, I've got an average of about 145 centimetres. Now let's have a look at the right. Well, the balance was definitely trickier on that right side, but when we start to look at the average, it's actually quite similar side to side. We're looking at about 145 centimetres or so side to side, which is a little bit maybe surprising for some of you out there, given that my weight bearing lunge and my star excursion balance test from the video yesterday had such big discrepancies. So obviously the mat's a really useful tool to be able to quickly and simply get that objective data. But there is another way. I mentioned something about the future of physiotherapy, and that's what I think is augmented reality. Let's go and have a look. So augmented reality is something that I'm really passionate about. It's something that I think can really revolutionise the health and fitness industries. And look, let's have a look at some of the effects. So as we see here, panning across, you know, just all looking pretty nice in the gym. It's a nice, filming setup. And then all of a sudden, oh, it's New Year's Day, isn't it? So we're looking at some fireworks going off on top of the mega mat, as well as we've got our dancing skeleton. Now, augmented reality, that may not be that helpful in health and fitness, but augmented reality does have a place. I'm going to show you how. So to use augmented reality, you obviously need a smart device capable of performing augmented reality tasks. Now, the devices often have a built-in measurement app, but an app that I really like is MeasureKit, and I'll show you why. Here's an example of how you could use it with the hop test. So basically what I can do is I can take my MeasureKit app, and I'm just going to find some detail on the ground here. So it takes a little while to identify the around world, but what we're going to do is we're going to show the mat, which we know is a really highly accurate tool, and I'm going to set a start point right on the edge of the mat. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to start to place that up against that 1 metre line. And what you'll see, oh, I've put a little bit off there, but that measurement stays there. And as you can see, it's pretty much spot on 1 metre, exactly the same as the mat, which we know is a highly accurate tool. So a really useful way you could use it for the hop test is to set that start point, and then we go and measure to that posterior aspect of the foot, and we measure there. And so it will pretty accurately tell me, so in this case, that we've hopped, you know, about 113 centimetres or so. In which we have a look at the mat, it's probably not too far off that. So if you haven't got a mat available, a really useful tool that you can use to start to get some objective data with your patients and clients. Okay, I know what you're thinking. This isn't the usual use for a black roll band, but in this case, it's going to do the job quite nicely to show you another feature of augmented reality, trajectory measurement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head back to the mat here and perform my hop test again. Before I do that, though, I'm going to hit the start button. I'm going to tap the screen to start drawing, and then I'm going to put it in my black roll band there. Okay? Then I'm just going to simply go ahead and perform an anterior hop. I'll then take this out and I'll tap the screen to stop. And what we'll see as I move back is we'll see a displacement measurement when I performed the hop test. And so what you'll see is that flight phase mapped out really nicely. While the distance measurements might not be accurate, the trajectory measurements are really nice to start to have a look at. And you can move around, you can have a look from all sides, and that will stay there in space. And look at those measurements that you've just performed and give you a bit of a look at the trajectory. You can then go ahead and compare to the other side as well. So a really useful tool to start to use to give you some qualitative information about that trajectory. Now the last thing I want to show you with augmented reality is the angle measurement. Really useful tool potentially to give us range of motion measurements accurately and reliably using augmented reality. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this angle and I'm going to find something which I know is a right angle. So in this case, I'm going to use the mat again, okay? So I'm going to measure from the start measurement line, this red line here, and I'm just going to tap the screen and put a start point on there in an accurate spot. I'm then going to track along to the center of the mat, right in the middle there, and then I'm going to tap again for the screen to reset, excuse my angle there, and then I'm going to follow along this 180-degree line on the mat, okay? And again, I'm going to put that measurement down. What I'll do is I'll step away, is we'll see that we'll get a measurement. And as you can see, it's bang on there, 90 degrees. And again, knowing that the mat's an accurate, reliable tool, we can see 290 degrees. This is exactly the same as what we see on the mat. So augmented reality could be a really nice way to get some accurate data around range of motion with your patients and clients. Just think about it. Look, unfortunately, I don't have a patient here at the minute, and that's because it's New Year's Day and everyone else is nursing a hangover. But what I am going to show you is how it might be used. So I'm just going to pick a point in space here, and then I'm going to draw a vertical line straight up there, and then I'm going to draw a line across. And so what I could do is I could easily step back and I could start to see this with augmented reality, the angle of the range of motion. In this case, it might be something standing up, like a glenohumeral abduction angle. So a really nice way to start to measure angles using augmented reality. So you can see, I think it's only going to get better as the algorithms and development keeps happening. So something to look for. I'm sure over the next coming years, we're going to see lots of augmented reality start to make its way into the health and fitness industries. Now make sure you tune in tomorrow. We're going to go over some more mat tests to help me get some objective data around my hips.